Hey everybody, it's me, Angel Benton, and it is time for another edition of Angel Sudsy Recap, where we delve into the world of daytime television and we do a few reality shows on the side. And one of the daytime TV shows that we're doing is The Bold and the Beautiful. I've got hair. I'm sorry. When you've got blonde hair and it's on a when you comb your hair and you're wearing a black shirt, you can see everything. Okay, there we go. All right. So I'm wearing my Bold and the Beautiful T-shirt I got at the fan event today. Isn't that cool? There's for their 30th anniversary. Um, okay, so let's talk about The Bold and the Beautiful. All right, so with The Bold and the Beautiful, there were really just two storylines this week that really kind of took precedent over everything else. Okay, now before we get into the main one, because there was one that really they used this past week to just move forward, but there was one that was kind of the secondary storyline, and that was the one between Eric and James and Sheila and Quinn, right? Okay, so to catch you up to speed, James, if you don't know James's history with Sheila, James has a very long history with Sheila and with the Forresters. And what is that like? Oh, it's weird. And he just popped up, it was mostly for dramatic effect, which I get and I love, because it's very soap opera. Because I didn't know he was coming back, so that was kind of cool. Plus, it's played by the same actor that played Duke Lavery back in the '80s, which I know he probably gets sick of hearing that, but I mean, it's so nice that he was able to create a character that everyone just fell in love with so much. So, anyways, okay, so Eric's like, because last week Quinn and Sheila got into that huge fight, which was a little bit disappointing, but I knew it was just round one. So I'm willing to, we'll see where it goes from there. So we found out that, James. So then, okay, wait. So then Eric's like, okay, well, I brought a doctor here to come examine you. I called an old friend. And then next thing you know, James shows up, which was last Thursday. And that was really great. Okay. So James shows up, he examines Sheila, and when he's alone with Sheila, Sheila says, I know that because we have a daughter, and my daughter has told me that you have been prescribing pain medication to yourself. I mean, she just has been sitting on that gem for a while, so we're like, oh, okay. So she basically blackmails James into saying, I'm fine. I mean, she's saying, I'm not fine. I need to stay here at Eric's house and protect him from that woman, Quinn. Okay. Great. All right. So let's be real. At that point forward, she's got James in her back pocket. James keeps saying, she's doing slightly better, but she shouldn't be moving yet. And if she is moving and she has a relapse somewhere, then, if Eric wants to keep this quiet, that's not going to be that great. So Eric's like, we've got to do the right thing. We've got to keep her here. So she basically intimidates James, and, James leaves. And then Quinn decides to check in on Sheila, so she goes in and she very quietly, and that was good that they showed that. Actually, I know it sounds kind of stupid, but I like that they showed her quietly turning the doorknob, because that's the first thing I'm like, well, no one heard the door? I mean, she quietly turned the doorknob, and then she saw Sheila dancing around her room, pretending to be Mrs. Eric Forrester. And Quinn was not having it, because she did not want Sheila to stay at all to begin with. Oh, and you know who else came and wanted Sheila to go was Brooke. So, and I actually really enjoyed that, because that was that sassy Brooke that I like so much. It was really, she was letting Sheila have it. So I mean, I don't know. I really want Brooke to have some sort of sparring partner, because I mean, all she's been doing lately is just propping up Bill. And, I would like, because back when the days when she used to fight with either Sally or Taylor, it was, bring Taylor back. Even if you have to recast, bring Taylor back. I just think that character is needed just to give Brooke some sort of something to do, So, anywho, I just love Brooke. Okay, so anyways, Quinn and Sheila then get into round two. So they had their second fight. Now, this was a little bit cheesy, because they ended up, getting pillows and hitting each other with pillows. So it's like, okay, is this a fight or is this a fantasy? This is like the beginning of every single sorority girl movie I've ever seen. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, let's do pillow. I mean, like, that's not how it went, but I will say that it was quite acrobatic, and I give props to both of the ladies because they are no slouch. I mean, they got in there and they were getting it. So, snaps to you, ladies. You did really good with that fight scene. It was really well done. And so Sheila, and that was Monday. So then on Monday's episode, it ended with Sheila and her hands around Quinn's neck. Now, on yesterday's episode, Quinn was like, "Do it, Sheila. Kill me so that Eric can see what a nut you are," right? So then Sheila tries to kill her, and then she's like, "Oh," and then she stops. And Quinn was like, "Oh my God, you are crazy." And then she runs downstairs and Sheila runs after her. So obviously, the jig is pretty much up because Quinn caught her, and now Eric's going to see her walking around, going up and down stairs. I mean, she's not as sick as that she can't leave the house. I mean, that's a little bit crazy. And Eric, God bless him, he stops being an old fool and he's like, "Yeah, I'm going to need you to go, Sheila." And so Sheila leaves. But here's the thing, and this is where it ended. So it makes me kind of, curious as to what's going to happen next. Now, is Sheila going to stick around Los Angeles and try to get Eric? Is she going to do something even crazier to someone else in the Bold and the Beautiful cast? Or is she going to hightail it to Genoa City, where she's from? Because she's got a lot of scores to settle there, too. And let's not forget that Scotty, the boy that she kidnapped from Lauren, is back and dating Sharon. So there's a whole bunch of stuff that could go, and I love it. I love it. That's great. I like trying to figure out what happened. Okay, so then let's talk about the main story that was going on. Now, the main thing that was happening the whole week was Spectra was gearing up for their big fashion show, right? So they had a little fashion preview where they previewed for Jarrett and for Liam. Now, Liam was like, I'm going to go with Jarrett so that in case anything does happen, or in case any, that it doesn't, what was he was basically just keeping Bill honest, because he was like, if Jarrett writes an article, I'm going to make sure that article gets published, and I'm going to make sure that opinion is, is exactly what he thought at the time. So, I mean, that was really good, and he was watching the show and was enjoying. It wasn't that big of a show. There was just 2 outfits, and you know what, though? I do think this was a missed opportunity for the show, and maybe they'll do this for the fashion show. I don't know, but I think that would be a good opportunity for Spectra to use Sasha as a model, right? Because it would, bring Sasha back, and it would actually give Sasha something to do outside of that Avon family. I love all of the Avons. I just don't, when they're together, they just are just storyline. They just suck up, I would like them. I like them in other people's storylines. It's great. They're great characters. So, yeah, so that would be cool if we saw Sasha, but we'll see about that. Okay, so then after that, we find out, well, we didn't find out. So at the end of Friday's episode, there was no, because at the end of the fashion preview, there was a small electrical fire, and Liam put it out, and she had an electrician come, well, not an electrician, but a handyman come look at the outlet after the fire, and she was like, "What's going on?" And the handyman, who was played by Ralph Malph from Happy Days. God, this one hair is just really driving me crazy. Okay, there we go. Ooh, thank goodness. Okay, so it was played by Ralph Malph, and he was like, "You need an electrician. This whole place is so old. It's going to go up in flames before you know it." She's like, "Okay, well, we can't afford to pay an electrician now, but we'll pay for one as soon as we're done with the fashion show, because then everything will be fine." So they're like, "Okay, whatever." So he's like, "Oh, I get paid the same, whatever." So he left, and then as they were leaving for dinner one night, or after they had left for dinner, the whole place caught fire. I mean, Now, when Sally came back, I'm sorry, this is really, I know it's really distracting that I keep tugging at my hair, but there's one hair that's just in my face and I can't seem to get it. It's annoying. There we go. I think I got it. All right. So Sally, it was a little hokey that she was like, she was right outside. I mean, I don't know what happened to the fire extinguisher that Liam used, and I mean, I've never used a fire extinguisher, so I don't know. Maybe it's just like a one-time thing. You can only use it once, and they hadn't gotten a new one. I don't know how that works. So, but I know that it just seemed she was just standing there at the door, and she was breathing in smoke. I mean, she didn't really do anything special. But I still got to give it up to Courtney Hope, who plays Sally. She's been doing a really good job with this story. So I'm definitely, and at the end of the episode of today's episode, Liam found out that Dollar Bill had actually she didn't find out. He just found out that, oh, what a coincidence, they don't have any insurance, they can't collect. So at that point, he was like, okay. So he went and he confronted his father. He's like, you're the one that set that fire, you know. So we'll see how that goes too. So that's basically the two storylines that happened on Bold and Beautiful this week. Anyways, thank you so much for logging on today. I do appreciate it. Please feel free to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Angel Benton. You can hashtag Bold and Beautiful to talk Bold and the Beautiful, or you can hashtag RHONY or Real Housewife Shit to talk the Real Housewives of New York. And you can also hit that subscribe button on my YouTube channel to get my YouTube videos sent to your inbox every single day. Thank you so much for logging on today. Have a wonderful day. Peace out. Wubba, wubba, wubba.